Okay, so the aim of today's lesson is to demonstrate sound knowledge of lesson planning. So basically to understand how to plan a lesson. You're going to do this by creating an effective lesson or trip for after lockdown. Okay, so today we will identify key elements of a plan or a trip, and you are going to create a plan or a trip linked to your own specialist area or your family's interests. Right, on to the next section, why do we plan? So we plan for a variety of reasons. I'm going to give you 7. We plan to be organised, you plan so that you know what you're doing, you plan so that you've got less to think about, you have a smooth lesson or a trip. Everybody or everything that you're planning for may have different needs. You could plan for health and safety, and you plan so that people know what is happening. What I want you to do together is try and get to 10 other reasons why you might plan a trip or a lesson or an activity. Okay, so moving on to starter activity. This is a little maths starter activity just to get everybody thinking. What I want you to do with this one is have a little competition with whoever is with you. So it might be family or friends. And the idea of this is to spell your name, work out what your name is as a number. So if A equals 1 and B equals 2, what does your name add up to? For example, mine would be T equals 20, O equals 15, N equals 14, Y equals 25. Add those up and it equals 74. You can make this as easy or as difficult as you want, so you can use your full name, nickname, and you can play against your parents, grandparents, whoever it is, and have a little competition and maybe set a timer and have a prize for the winner. Right, so on to the main part and the fun part of the session. So what I want you to do, you're going to plan a holiday or a trip that you or your friends and your family could go on after lockdown. So we know that lots of things have been closed, lots of people have missed out on holidays. It might even be something simple as going shopping, it could be to your favourite restaurant, or it could be to a theme park, anything like that. Use your imagination. And what you're going to do in your group or on your own or with your family, you want to plan a holiday or a trip that you can go on when the lockdown is over. So what you need to do, I want you to think about all the things that you need to consider how you would go on that trip and put them onto a flip chart or a piece of paper. So for example, things like how you would get there, where it is you're going, who's going, and all the different things that you would need to be able to go on a trip that you can enjoy that you've missed after lockdown. Once you've written all those things down, what you're going to do then is feed back to each other and see if anybody else can add different elements to the information you've put down to make your trip easier, more exciting. It might be less time consuming, and you're going to add all that information together until you come up with what looks like a trip on a piece of paper. And then we're going to show you how to break it down and put it into different sections so that it makes sense. Right, so we're on to planning a trip or a holiday for after lockdown. So a couple of ways of doing it. We're going to go with a spider diagram, or you can just use a piece of paper, split it in half, and you're going to put different sections down. You might even want to put it into 4 and add different elements of your trip. This is a really easy way to do it, because what you can do, you can just write stuff off the bubble. So what I'm going to do today, I've got Tom and Michelle. You can't see them, I don't think you can hear them, but I'm going to give them 5 minutes to plan a trip. I'm going to time it, and we're going to see what they come up with. And you'll see as we're going along, the different elements that I ask will actually make a trip or a holiday. This is a really good way of doing it, because you take for granted when you go to somewhere even like shopping. A lot of people who get stressed and anxious about shopping, things like parking, things like that. If you start to plan things before you do them, then it might take away some of these anxieties that people get through going to places. Plus, after lockdown, we all want to go somewhere. So this will be a nice little task to do. So I'm going to set my timer. Can you two hear me at the back? Yeah. Excellent. So we've got 5 minutes. So I've not prepped them on this. We're just going to see where we get to. So I'm going to ask you to just throw stuff at me and we're going to try and plan a trip. Okay? So I'll tell you when. Right, timer's on. Right, what's the first thing I need to write down?
Where are you going?
Where we're going? So where we're going?
Wales.
Wales, okay. So we have a location. Okay, these two are off to Wales. Now what's next?
How are you getting there?
Okay, are we getting there? How? How are you getting there?
Car.
Okay, so we're going in a car. Okay, what else do we need to know?
We need to take.
What do you need to take? Well, go on then. What do you? Okay, so we've got clothes. Sun cream in Wales. Okay, yeah. What else? Money. What else? Food. Go on, keep chucking stuff at me.
Yeah.
Any more whats?
Drinks.
Drinks, food and drink, maybe. I think we can fill this in 5 minutes. Keep going.
Petrol in your car.
Okay, so your car needs petrol. Okay, how do you pay for petrol? So, have you put money on? Yeah, we've got money on, so link that back there. Okay, where do you get your money from? Work, so you go to work, they give you your money, do they? I don't know, Michelle. Okay, so a bank, okay. So, do you need a bank card? Petrol, bank, card. What else? It's going to be a bit of a lonely trip, this one.
Oh, friends.
Oh, you need some friends. Okay, so you need friends or people. Okay, so who's going on this trip? Well, I'll give you a clue. It's you two, Tom and Michelle. Okay. Okay, what else do we need? Is it just 2? Is it 4? Plus 2.
You only fit 2 in the car, can't we?
Okay. What else do we need on there?
Um,
So we know where we're going. We know what we're taking. We know how we're getting there. Okay, so in the which is called what?
Hotel, caravan site.
Oh, it begins with A.
Accommodation.
Okay, accommodation. Spelling's not important on this one because I'm in a rush. What is your accommodation?
A caravan.
Caravan, love it. Okay, so
What time you got to stand into your caravan?
there you go. So what time? So what time can you be there? Give us a few on accommodation. What were you staying in a caravan?
Oh, I thought you said more.
No. So what else do you need to know?
when you've got to leave.
So okay, so check in, time in
Check out.
and out,
How many people can fit in it? What berth is it?
numbers.
Is it going to be by the sea or is it going to be in the middle of the field?
Okay, so location, well done. Anything else? So
Time fees, how much will it cost?
cost, have we got cost here? So again, that ties into your money. So we've got cost. Okay,
Activities.
love it. You're just going to be sat around. So is it an activity type holiday, Tom?
Yeah.
Or is it a?
No, won't be.
It's not a sunbathing one, is it? Activity. Okay, so what do you need to know about the activities then?
How much they'll cost.
Cost again. What else?
Where the set place?
Were. Yep.
What equipment you'll need.
Were. What else do you need to know?
To be there for.
Timings, yep, that's another good one. So how do you tell the time? I've not seen it on there. So you're going to need a watch then.
Yeah.
What do you need if you get? What do you need to get into trouble? You need a phone. So there's no phone on there, is there? Right, so you need a phone. Watch. What else? What about if you get injured? Okay, but what even before that? Normally when you go on holiday, you've got a phone. Yeah, but you've got a phone, but what might you take out before you go? Depending on your activity holiday.
Insurance.
Insurance, excellent. Especially if it's a lively one. Okay, what else? It's coming together now. So it's a bit of an activity holiday, this one. Let's try and fill this. We've got another minute, go for it. 1 more minute left.
How long it takes to get there?
Perfect, well done. So, distance.
Do we need a break?
Why is distance important with this? How much putting in? Do you need a break? Or would you plan your breaks?
Yeah, I just wing it. Some people like that.
Always plan your break.
Oh,
Safe
it's a
break.
planning lesson, so we're always going to plan our breaks. It's safer. Why do you plan your breaks, especially when you're driving long distance?
You don't get tired, you can refresh.
Exactly, because you must fall asleep. So plan it so that you are fresh. Right, we need to fill this bit here. So what else can we put in there?
Is it a child-friendly?
Yes, exactly. So is it an adult? Well, I'll tell you what. You tell me, is it an adults only trip or kids?
Adults only.
Adults only. So it's adults only. And you're taking pets, yeah?
No.
No pets? Okay, what else?
Yeah, where the shops are.
Local shops, excellent. So we're going to put that on. We'll put that on here because that's a plan, isn't it? What else? We've got about 30 seconds left.
It's to the beach, our family is to the entertainment.
Evening, night.
It's where they
What else? Any more? Any more from anyone else in the room? John, you can put some on there as well. It's pretty good up to now, that. Have a think if you've missed anything. Like essentials, passport. Passport is only if you're going abroad. Yes, you will do because they'll want to check it, won't they? So medical records. You happy with that? I'll let you another few seconds to add anything. You've got your where you're going, how you're getting there, your time, what you're taking, people. Yeah, you happy with that? Right, that's coming in time. Right, so we just planned. Well, they just planned the trip there in 5 minutes, but you can see all those things that are actually there, and there'll be stuff missing. You kind of take for granted of how much you actually think about planning a trip, even when you're going just to somewhere like Wales, which is kind of, some parts are only sort of an hour and a half away. You've still got to think about all these things, because if you forgot, let's say, your money or your bank card, then when you're there you can't pay for your activities or you can't pay for your night entertainment. So sometimes it's just a good idea to just write things down like this and just have a look at it and have a little bit of a plan, and then it just makes things a little bit easier for you. So that's like when you turn up to the airport and you'd forgot your passport, you wouldn't be able to fly. So that's why people get really, really stressed before they go on big holidays, because they don't do any of that beforehand. So what we're going to do with this now, we're going to take this information and I'm going to add this and show you how you'll put this into a lesson plan, how you would complete a simple lesson plan. So that's your cross curricular. So we've just planned the trip, and that's all that information now is going to go into a lesson plan. Oh yeah, we are. Right, so now I'm going to show you how to basically plan a lesson or plan a session. So what I've done, I've drawn on here standard lesson plan. It doesn't matter that it's quite rough because it's a little bit rushed, but that's absolutely fine. The idea is the detail that you're putting into it. So pretty standard for any lesson this, when you're teaching or coaching, and I'm linking, the reason I say coach is because I'm linking this lesson to a PE lesson. So you've got your date of your session, your time and duration, your participants, so your who, the number, the age, and maybe the abilities, focus or the aim, the topic or the sport or the activity, your working space and environment, your equipment list, and then you actually move into the lesson. So you've got your introduction or a warm-up activity, your main session, your cool down, and anything that you need to consider outside of what would normally be filled in this bit. So what we've done with the spider graph that you've just done, we've took a picture of ours. I've sent it over to Michelle and Tom, who actually came up with the holiday, and they are now going to try and input all those details into the right sections. And then what you'll see at the end of it, the holiday or the trip that you've planned, you've actually been able to turn into a fully planned lesson, which is quite smart, and it's a good way of doing it as well. So we'll go through it, and you shout out to me as it is. So the date of the session, did we get a date? What would go in there? 1st of August.
Is that the day we're going?
Is that, well, that's what, did you put it? That's what I'm saying. So you had no date?
We didn't.
Okay, so there's no date, so we're going to put a big X on there. So we have missed something, so that's a really important one to consider. Okay, time and duration, what would go in there? It's on there. Yeah, it was a week away, weren't it? So it was a 7-day holiday. that one. Okay, something else that you might put in there, time and duration. This would be really important if you was going abroad.
Time of flight.
Yes, exactly. So your actual time of departure maybe, and your return. If you're linking that to a lesson, that would be what time your lesson starts, what time it finishes, and how long it's going to last. Right, your participants, so who, number, age and ability. So what would you put from your bit that you planned?
Me, Tom and Susan.
Okay, so it was, we'll just put 4 people for now.
Ages.
And did the ages matter on your holiday? Did it? It did because what did you say type of holiday it was?
No children.
It was an adult's holiday, so we're going to put 21 plus. Something else you could put in there as well is if there's any differences in abilities. So you might have some disabilities. I don't know if they put that in theirs, so they didn't check whether it was disabled friendly. Okay, so focus and aim. What's the focus and aim of your trip? It was a fun holiday, weren't it? What about the topic stroke, sport stroke activity? I think Tom said it. It was a what? It was an adventure holiday, yes. Anything else to put in there? In the topic bit? You might have wrote something down on your bit. Yeah? Something that you wanted to do. You mentioned somewhere where there's water and sand.
I'll go beach.
Okay, so it's an adventure holiday, but you're going to be able to relax, aren't you?
Holiday as well.
Okay, what about the working space and environment? So how can you relate that back to your holiday? What is the work? What is the environment?
The caravan.
So okay, so it's caravan site. Anything else?
But would the car be included?
No, the car wouldn't be included there, but it will come in another section in it. But the environment is a caravan site. So what else, what is that known as? But it's the what? It's the what's that? Yeah.
Location.
Yeah, location is a what though? Is it an indoor or outdoor? Yeah, but the actual site itself is an outdoor location. It's an outdoor holiday, isn't it, really? Because, well, you're going to be doing all your activities, aren't you? Right, big one, equipment list. So what have you got there that will go in an equipment list? This is what you'll fill probably the most up with. Okay, so wait a minute. Yep. Money. Clothes. Yep.
Bank card.
Yep.
Activity equipment.
Yep. Your we'll just put your equipment. Yeah, equipment. What else? What else would become in your equipment? You've missed probably the most important one. Your car. Yeah. It's a piece of equipment, isn't it? What else? Have a look on your list. Same with you guys at home, look on your list for equipment. That's anything that you need to get there that you've already wrote down. Petrol. A mat maybe, yeah. That's equipment. Any others? No, I'm going to leave it because I've got another section for it. Okay, moving on. Intro, warm up. So what would you, if it was relating this, no, what would that be? The introduction.
Packing your luggage.
Yeah, it'd be getting ready, wouldn't it? So packing, maybe. What else would come in the introduction of planning a trip?
Sorting your money out.
Yeah, so it's
Booking
doing.
your destination.
Yes, it's getting all those first things, doesn't it? So it's the initial booking. And just basically getting ready. Right, the main session. What's the main session? Yeah, so it's the actual.
Getting to the holiday.
Yeah, it's the holiday itself, isn't it? So the actual main session is the holiday itself. If I was planning a lesson, the warm-up would be maybe some star jumps or some squats, and then your main session would be the main bit that you're going to learn. Well, if you're planning a trip, the introduction would be the actual packing, the initial booking, or the getting there, and then your actual main session is your actual holiday itself. Right, what's the cool down going to be then for this trip? Yeah, what did you do before you come home though? Pardon?
Bedtime.
Yeah, so you're going to do your tidying up. What else do you need to do? Not just tidying up. Think about your clothes. Yeah, so you're packing up. Yeah. What else?
Log out.
Yeah, check out. And then you would do, what's the last thing you would do on that cool down? And you've done all that when you've checked out, you're going to what? Yeah, you're going to drive home. That's your holiday over, isn't it? If that was a lesson, so if that's a lesson in school, PE lesson, I would have maybe, you would stretch down, tidy the equipment. I'd get you ready to go back to another lesson. If it was a maths lesson, you might do some little maths quizzes at the end. And then what are the other things you need to consider for your holiday, for your trip? And we've not put them on there. Yeah, so they're all the things that you wrote down, like your shops, your entertainment. There's one that you've missed off that's really important. All of it, but it can go in there. Think about. Yeah, you've wrote it down. So I'm yeah, what about if. No, you've done that. If something happens. Yeah, so you need, so like your first aid and any medical records. Medicals and insurance. And I'll tell you why that's really important thing to consider, because again, if this was a lesson, what as a teacher or as a young coach, what you would need to know is, has anybody got any disabilities? Has anybody got any dietary requirements? Do they have asthma? Things like that. And if you are able to plan a lesson like that, and you know that you've got these things to consider, if you have any accidents, then you know you can just refer to your lesson plan and you've got it all covered. So that is a holiday put into a lesson plan. And that's your subject done.